Have you ever thought about what it means to be doing things in a respectable manner? Welcome to this week's devotional. So glad that you joined me. That sounds like a very funny question to ask, but, generations upon generations ago, that was something that was asked continually because of the retroflexion of the idea of what is it in my personal life that is affecting my corporate life, but even more that might be reflecting and affecting other people's lives as well. The whole idea of living in an honorable and a respectable manner that shows Jesus is not something new. This is something that, even looking at Bible times, they had this going back to even before the time of Noah. Everything that we do, everything that we say has an impact on what's really going on around us. Even with talking about that, just within these last couple weeks, looking at the things that are going on in the world, we see about how that affects every single person around. Not only does it affect every single person around, it has almost like a domino effect or a boomerang effect, or you name the effect, that's what it is, on what is really happening in our society. Are we going to last? Are we going to thrive? Are we going to be able to survive because of what's going on? The sad thing is, and we see this throughout the scriptures themselves, where God keeps coming back to us, reminding us of this, that if Jesus is not at the center of everything, there is nothing that is honorably done. There is no way to survive. There's no way to thrive if God is not at the center. Over the last many years, we keep hearing about different things about how to make them great again. There's only one thing to make things great again, and that's by having Jesus at the center of everything. That is the only way and the only estimation that anything can ever be great. But even in that, let's touch on this for a moment. Even though we say that we want it to be great again, really it's not great because the one who's in the system is the one that's making it great, and that's Jesus. It is great because he is great. But at the same time, the system is not the greatness factor. That is Jesus. And honestly, I think that's something that we need to remember. We need to go back to the Word. We need to go back to the Scriptures. We need to be reading them, studying them, diving into them daily, so that we actually are being changed into the reflection of Jesus constantly. So when people see us, they're seeing him. Even with talking about that, it brings us into our devotional verse for this week, which is found in Colossians chapter 1, looking at verse 10. It says this, so that you will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, to please him in all respects, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of the Lord. Right there, Paul, talking to the Colossians church, was reminding them, just like he's reminding us today, that the only way to have a change is to have a relationship with Jesus. If I don't have a relationship, that's going to show. The very fact that I don't want a connection with him shows what my true character really is like. But even more than that, when I have a connection with Jesus, my whole being changes, because I am being changed into his likeness, not into who he is, because only one can be that, and that's only him. But I'm given his character implanted in me so that I can be a better version of myself because he's in me. When I have the relationship, it automatically produces the works thereof so that I'm able to do what he continually asks of me to do. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of us that are going to say, well, that's hard. Yes, it is hard. We were promised that there's not going to be easy times. Remember, there's thorns that come with the flowers. There's going to be problems. What is our attitude going to be in these times of heartache, in these times of turmoil. Focus on Him. Focus on Him alone, knowing that He has the solutions that we're needing both in this life, in the life to come, ultimately. Thank you again for joining me. Look forward to seeing you next time as we continue to study God's Word together. God bless.